Ben Deville, aka Boozin. How the Twitch gamer Boozin? How are you doing?
I'm well, thanks. How are you doing?
Am I interrupting quality boozing or gaming time? I think we should clarify that.
One of the good things about boozing is you can do whatever you like.
Oh well, there we go. And what are we boozing today?
It's a boozing favorite, so gin. It's
Gin.
our go-to.
Gin. Oh my goodness. Well, I such a. I'm sorry. Did you hear that over there? Never mind. Okay. Where is the masculinity gone? It's bourbon, brother. No.
Goodness. Yeah.
Now you are an up and coming Twitch gamer, is my understanding.
I would like to think so. Yeah, I'm definitely working at it.
So and what made you choose this career path?
I've been gaming for a really long time. I've been gaming with the same core group of people for about 15 years. So it's just been a really big part of my life. I mean, ever since, I think I built my first PC when I was like 14 or 15. And it was kind of just, every day of my life since then. I started thinking about it, and if I'm going to play, why not put it out there? And if people like it and they hang out and they enjoy it and I can make something out of it, that's great. And if it doesn't, come to fruition, that's great too, because it is just a side thing for me now. I do work full time. So,
and what do you do full time?
I work for a financial company, and I work on the admin side. Yeah. So I sit behind a computer, which I'm comfortable behind, and I make phone calls and work with documents, and yeah.
All the joyous stuff that goes into financial admin, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I really do enjoy it, and I love the company that I work for here in Austin, and a lot of really great people. So I enjoy it a lot. But if I could game for a living, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
the dream.
Well, there you go. So you don't work on the portfolio side of this. You work in the admin, and do they bring you in for IT as well?
Sometimes I do work with our CTO a little bit, but I primarily work with data. So I do get to work with him a lot. But on the IT side, we kind of have a team that comes in, and if someone
I figure if someone's building his own PCs at 14,
it's actually, I'll show you sometime. It's not too complicated. Yeah.
Oh no,
you get all
actually,
the pieces and
you put it all together. Yeah. I'm not afraid to get into my computers if I need to.
Nice.
At the very least, swap out RAM.
There you go. Hey,
that's my big technical term for the show. RAM.
He's got it, folks. Yeah.
RAM, hard drive. Okay.
Oh.
And installing a sound card. Okay, and to make sure that things go well. But I've since switched over to Mac, so I'm.
Nice.
Well, there you go. Well,
not nice. Not the best for gaming.
No, not the best for gaming or for financial institutions, but for artistic endeavors, tops.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and that's where all of my pursuits lie, is in artistic endeavors.
Well, there you go.
Otherwise known as starving.
Hey,
so you usually end up buying your Macs used. There you go. That's great. Now, amidst all of this, of course, you're a daddy.
I am.
So just one child?
Yeah, just one.
Just the one.
Yeah, I'm a hands full, just the one. Why I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know how people can do it. My parent, I'm one of 10 children, so I couldn't even imagine. So
yeah, your parents pulled that off. Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
I take it your parents live out in the rural areas.
Oh yeah, now they do. Yeah.
Did they when you were growing up?
A little bit, just south of Austin.
Just south of Austin. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, then they kind of once all the kids were off to college and last one was out of the house, they moved away to Livingston for a while to live in their retirement dream. But now they're back nearby, so that's good.
Oh well, there you go. Well, that's good. So they're close by for the granddaughter. That's good. Yeah. And it's a daughter, right? I should clarify to the audience. Your daughter. Yeah. Well, that is absolutely. How did you encounter Megan? My guest from last week.
So of Stephanie, right?
Yes.
So I've actually been gaming with Stephanie for 15 years.
Oh, Stephanie was one of your gaming buddies. Oh, so that is cool.
Yeah. And then, I guess it's been a little over a year now, maybe a little bit longer than that, that I've known Megan, but through gaming. Yeah. So,
yeah, because Megan had taken to gaming, and well, she's always been a gamer too. So yeah. So I guess at some point
join the scene, kind of
join the scene, and then become part of the, so this is the new social norm. Oh, we've been gaming,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
People my age, we met people out in person, we were,
yeah.
And now it's all online for the most part. Oh, we met, but it's good because I honestly, I genuinely believe that it works out so much better because online we are more apt to be ourselves than the character that we have to be in real life. I think
that's a little bit of confidence, right? Like a layer of like I don't know, kind of. I don't know. Animate yourself a little bit more, maybe.
Well, you animate yourself a little bit more, but also, I think you're more free to be you. Which is a double-edged sword because there are people out there that should definitely not being more of themselves.
Agreed.
Yeah, but the ones that do, and you really like someone and you really identify with that, and that was the reason I reached out to you. I'm like, I identify with this guy. I really like him, and. So and I really appreciate you coming on. We've never met before, and we're just two strangers talking, and everybody getting to see the interaction. And hopefully,
I really appreciate it.
Hopefully, neither of us says anything too stupid or condemning. But I think we'll be good.
It wouldn't be the first time for me. So,
well, considering you usually stick to the really lame dad jokes, I think you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Like I said, I put you on a show with Stephen Pearl, for heaven's sake.
Goodness.
There's only going up from here.
Goodness.
I'm sorry. Oh wait, I just went off camera. It's only going up from here. And you have to be, of course, you do have to be more aware of your camera spacing and doing all the other fun stuff, and realizing that little red thing you have holding down your green screen is still on camera. There we go. That's always important. You got to look.
Some details.
I've supposedly been an entertainment professional my entire life since I did narrate 2 national TV shows. Suddenly. And I was like, okay, really? Okay. I got paid less than the barista down at Starbucks for those shows. I'm not going to say anything, but like, okay. It is what it is. But it does give me a limited amount of credibility. But and obviously you've got a great backup job. I mean, working in finance.
It definitely pays the bills. Yeah.
And, you get to live indoors and eat, and have your own house, obviously.
Yeah, apartment, but I'll take it.
Apartment. Oh, there you go. Well, you get to live indoors and eat, and that's a win.
True. Yes,
And more and more, it's becoming a bigger win for everybody these days. So that's
true. I do feel very fortunate for sure. Yeah.
And you said you're not planning on any more kids.
No. Just the one. Yeah.
Well, you're what, in your early 30s?
I actually am 30.
Oh, you thought happy birthday! Oh, well, wait. Well, happy birthday whenever it was. Happy 30th.
Coming up here. I'll be 31 in July. So
31 in July. Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
What day, if you don't mind me asking?
July 21st.
July 21st. Oh, right there on the cusp.
Oh, okay. He knows. All right.
Yeah. Right there, man. You like a crabby lion. I got you.
Yes. A crab with fur.
A crab with fur.
Yeah.
Sorry, something extremely wildly inappropriate. Just shot through my head, and I need to stop that. I'm a grown up now. Stop that.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm talking to a guy who's, I was 24 years old before you were even a gleam in your dad's eye, and now here we are.
Yeah. Funny. The other day, I made a comment to somebody about these kids in college, and they go, "Isn't it funny to think that you think of them as kids?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh."
Exactly.
I am getting old.
Exactly. Well, considering the options, okay, you get old or you die. So
it's true. Hey, you know what?
We're good in that department.
Thanks. Yeah.
And I'd rather talk to younger people who actually still have flexibility in their thinking and willing to move history forward.
Hey, there you go.
Your brain is like cement. So just don't let it set.
I'll do my best. I don't know. I might might be working against myself though. With
Well, that's okay. Well, as long as you keep the working ones pliable, I think you'll be fine.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And it really depends on how much boozing you do. By the way, and speaking of that, yeah, I used your graphic. I'll throw it up here one more time. That Megan did for you.
Oh,
I don't know if
love it.
I know. Which one did you prefer, the brown one or the purple one?
I do feel like I'll use them for different things, but maybe the darker one. I guess it's hard
purple,
to choose
yeah.
between the two. Yeah, the purple.
I gravitated to the purple one. That one
Yeah.
immediately caught my eye. I went, that works.
Yeah,
But,
I do
but
love
yeah,
it.
use them for different purposes. Obviously, it's really, and as usual, it's her great work.
I mean, she's just unreal. And I remember reaching out to her, and I was like, "Hey, no pressure. I know you don't normally, do this, but I am very interested, and I know how good she is, and I knew it would be great." And so I kind of gave her an idea of what I was looking for, and it was kind of those days in between where she hadn't answered yet, and I was like, "Oh, is she gonna do it?" And then she finally got back to me. She's like, "Hey, check this out. It's a rough thing," and I was, blown away, and I'm just so excited. I've been giddy since. I can't.
That's the either the Amber Alert or the National Alert there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm in lockdown. I don't know how it could possibly escalate, but I think it's Los Angeles. So
okay.
Yeah. So
how's the weather out there?
Well, it's sunny outside. No, what we get to see of it, try to keep things on lockdown there. And I would venture to say, you know what? Oh, I was going to actually, I've got it. My phone and my messaging are on my computer. And so in the midst of this interview, we will go ahead and we'll actually go ahead and take a peek and see what was going on. And see if I should be running for cover right now.
Oh yeah, it might be a good idea. Given the current situation.
Oh no, we are. Well, let's see. Okay. Today, just telling of the curfew again. Okay, that was at 3:40 p.m. And so yeah, and that was just a standard message, but that was an Amber Alert message. And so that sounded like I should really pause, and we're going to come right back. Hold on, and I'm sure that edit won't look weird at all, where I'm in one position and then now suddenly I'm over here. But I went to check the phone, and it was just the alert for the curfew. Thank goodness. And so, and I'm going to be, I'm while I'm recording this with you, I haven't done the opening for the show yet. So
okay.
I will be making. I will at this point have made some reference as to the behavior and protocol. And the bottom line is, we're sitting here, and as a gamer, you probably would appreciate the tactics being used by white supremacists, getting out there amidst the rioters and starting the looting and starting making it a riot, amongst the protesters, I should clarify. Well, the rioters, the people enacting violence, and one of the key strategies of a war is to undermine the credibility of your opposition, and this is how they go about doing it. They infiltrate the group, and they cause the violence, and these are not the people that are actually the ones protesting. These are the ones trying to make the protesters look bad.
Right.
Process and agitating the furthest fringes of that group into further violence.
And they're what shows up all over the news.
And then they're the ones that get all the news.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that get all the news, while the people that are trying to actually make a difference are left to be vilified. And I find it distasteful, and I find it downright reprehensible, and it's sad, that we can't take something simple and joyous as gaming and not have to think about something like that. You realize, wow, that's, it's like having somebody from the other team suddenly end up on your crew, and they end up on your first person shooters, and they're out there killing you guys. You're like, where'd that shot come from? It's like, oh, it's one of our own, and you've got to go.
Well, the sabatage is real sometimes. It definitely happens.
Yeah. Does it happen in the gaming?
All the time.
Wow.
You have a lot of egos, I think, too, especially in the gaming world.
Yeah.
And you do one thing that someone doesn't like, And I mean, what's it matter? It's a game, right? So
Yeah.
they can, if they feel like they have 30 minutes of their time and everybody else's time to waste and they want to capitalize on it, sometimes they do. So
And it really, and it really is, and it's a sad commentary because and sad part is a lot of these gamers are out there in the real world enacting those same strategies.
yeah,
And it's because oh
I
yeah,
definitely think it's a good indication sometimes of the person themselves. Like, I think some people definitely, and we talked about this a little bit earlier,
mm-hmm.
a little bit more of themselves when they're behind a screen, especially if they don't have the camera on and they're just
Right.
in a game. I mean, unless you want to dive into it and try and find out who this person is, they can be whoever they want and they can be as horrible as they want. And I do think
Yeah.
that when people are at that level, it's really indicative of who they are as a person too. Like, I wouldn't want to hang out with you in person, kind of thing,
Exactly. Yeah,
So,
because people they hide behind avatars and they're afraid to show their faces. And
right.
for a long time, I was uncomfortable, but that's just mainly because I don't think I'm anything pleasant to look at. Which is
Goodness.
It's like oh. I've long held the opinion that I had the face for voiceover. So that was my line.
You have a good voice.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, it did get me some work in the day. So but, I appreciate that. Very kind. Your voice is very pleasant as well, Boozin.
Thanks. It's funny. I actually don't like my voice, but I feel like that's a common thing amongst people. I don't know.
Well, yeah. Well, exactly. No, I was never really happy with my voice. When you hear it outside of yourself, you just have to identify that that's the way people have heard it.
Right.
I'm more concerned with my mannerisms. Even though I have a nice voice, I still stutter. I still use filler words.
Okay.
And sorted other and while I'm waiting for my mouth to catch up with my brain. I know what my brain is trying to articulate. It's the mouth is idling while the brain is in function.
The brain's like, keep up.
Here we go, sunshine. Come on, work with me, you black hole.
Oh goodness.
Sunshine and black hole in the same reference. I'm pretty proud of myself.
Hey,
that works out nicely. Thank you. Good. Yeah. Because I know there was another reason I can relate to you. I'm like dad jokes because that's usually what I do when
they're so good.
they're awesome. They're handy. They're convenient. It's like and sometimes just the groan and the eye roll is worth far more than the laughter.
Yeah, and the best part is too on the inside, that they let out that groan and that eye roll, but deep down they enjoyed that joke so much.
They just enjoyed it. It's like just take it.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
Oh man, I'm sorry. That sounded like something ready for the Me Too movement when I did that. I apologize.
Oh, no.
Take it. Whoa, dude, not cool. Not cool in the least. So, where did you get your higher education? Did you?
Actually, I didn't finish my degree.
Really?
But
you did go to college for a brief.
I did. Technically, I'm a junior.
Technically, hey.
Yeah, I mean, I was starting to take classes that were focused on my major, which was biology. So I'm going to do a biology major with a minor in chemistry. Possibly do research or teach. I don't know. But at the time, I wasn't very focused. I was actually working for Chipotle at the time. I had become a salaried manager for them. I was working a lot of hours. My daughter came along, and I just felt like I had really great things going for me, and I didn't need the stress of school. And I wasn't focused, and I was wasting money. So wasting time and money. So I felt like at the time I kind of felt like I was where I was going to be, right? And so I dropped out and was just really focused on my job. And then things changed a lot. I mean, shortly after that, I left Chipotle and I was waiting tables again, and I was fronting an indie folk band. And
indie. Okay, say what you will, but indie folk bands, I like indie folk bands. I think it worked nicely for me.
Hey, I enjoyed it a lot. The person I ran into that I was playing music with, he has a really pop heavy influence, and my influence at the time was really folky, kind of country, not country, but folk.
No, like folk
roots country. And so,
well, like who would you consider your influences?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I guess some just like the older stuff I listen to that are like more mainstream, definitely like Jack Johnson
Oh, Jack
like just
Johnson.
singer-songwriters, John Mayer.
Singer-songwriter. Well,
John Mayer's an
you're
interesting character, but his music was really great
mhm.
at the time. So, just kind of these things. And then just, a lot of bands that I played with down in San Marcos at the time where I lived, a lot of like, they called it gutter punk was the scene. So it's kind of like bluegrass punk music.
Oh, yeah.
So I got a lot of influence from like, mandolins and banjos and stuff. I really love that sound. So,
Oh, yeah.
never got to use that in my own music, but I play a lot of ukulele and guitar, and then I'm a singer, and that was my instrument. But I learned these other voices to be able to play by myself, and then that's what I brought to the band. So, but that's what I was doing for a long time, and then I decided I wanted a 9-to-5, and I, was fortunate to have an opportunity at this job, and I've been there for a few years now.
There you go. And that's awesome stuff. I like that. Because you're from an area, excuse me, where a lot of the folk rock type music comes out.
Oh yeah,
of, the Decemberists, I think, are out of Texas. Are the Decemberists?
Maybe so.
I
think of like Shaky Graves, for instance, out of Austin.
Oh, Shaky Graves, yes.
I love a lot. He's a big inspiration now.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day, it wasn't so much, but there was a song that our band covered. I'd have to remember. I can't remember the name. But he sings it by a poolside with another artist. And anyway, but no, yeah, there's a lot of really great music out of Austin.
Well, exactly. Well, come on, South by Southwest. Come on.
Hey, rip.
Yeah. So now, have you attended?
No. Well, South by I've done like unofficial shows. I haven't played for anything. But no.
But I mean, just attended as a fan. I mean.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, I've gone to a couple unofficial shows. Like I try to avoid Austin during South by. It just gets so crazy and.
Oh yeah.
It's a madhouse. So if I can,
or as we call it, Los Angeles on Monday.
Hey, there you go. If I could get to a show on the edge of Austin somewhere and kind of maybe avoid at least most of the crowd, then I'll definitely get out and do that. But I've been to ACL once. I'd like to go more, but
I've gotten that way in my advanced age, because I used to be, I would run out for every concert. And when I lived in Nashville, surprisingly, I won a lot of radio contests for shows. And so they'd have to call in, they had what was called the knock knock oldie of the day. And they played like a second of a song, and you had to identify it. And I was really good at it.
Yeah.
And so I could only win like once a month, but I'd always, I went and saw a lot of great bands. But now I've gotten to the age where I'm like, someone invites me out to see a band. I'm like, where are they playing? And how many people are going to be in attendance for this show? So, all right. If it's a crowd of more than 1,000, then I'm kind of like, I'm good.
Yeah.
If it's a smaller venue show, I love them.
I love to just sit like at like a high-rise table with like a cocktail and just like maybe 100 people at max in the room, but it's like very intimate setting. Like,
exactly, and especially if you get a big act, somebody.
Oh, really, for sure, definitely.
Yeah. And that is some nice view in there. But so you. Very see now. The brain now. The brain is catching up to the mouth. It's like I know. So what are the games? What are the games that you excel at?
I think I played World of Warcraft for a very long time, and that's where I met most of my.
I'm sorry.
Hey, I'll take it.
Hey, there you go. Hey.
So I've played that for a really long time.
I'm a firm believer that if any video game generates a porn parody, that's a win.
Wow, that's how they know they made it.
That's how they know they made it. We have porn based on your video game. So there you go.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, but
now
I'm sorry.
Now I know to measure my games by. For sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like,
so
what's this game called?
And so, what?
Is there porn of it?
Oh yeah, exactly. What's this? Is there a porn of it?
No. So I think definitely World of Warcraft is what I've played the most.
What I played the most. Well, I know. What was the game you were playing this weekend? What is that? What is that?
Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Daylight.
Yes.
Okay, so.
And that is what I've been playing. Yeah.
Now is that a zombie themed?
No, not zombie. It's a killer versus 4 survivors.
Oh, serial killer. Oh,
Yeah,
there we
right.
go. Okay.
So they have some that are licensed, so they can use the name. They have the Demogorgon from Stranger Things.
Oh, wow.
But then they have some characters that are basically
There.
what we know to be like.
Yeah, like Jason
Freddy's not a good
Voorhees.
example because it
Yeah,
is Freddy in
but
the
like
game. But
Jason
you know.
Voorhees or Michael Myers, or
Sure, yeah.
like
But they didn't get licensing rights, so they named
they didn't.
themselves.
So, yeah.
But yeah, so it's Killer vs. 4 Survivors, and
Yeah.
I think I play really well on the Survivor side. I'm learning Killer. I'm trying to get better, but on the Killer side, I do think that I do play at a fairly high level. I would like to think so. So yeah, I mean, I sit at the high ranks, which isn't much for Survivors, but you know.
So when you're sitting on death row, we'll know you really succeeded at this game, right?
Yes.
He was really good at it.
If I need to run from a killer, I have first-hand experience.
Yeah. He started out his career on Dead by Daylight, but it took a dark turn as Boozin spent too much time boozing and decided to take it into real life.
Poor decisions.
Oh man, I can see me doing Dateline for that.
Goodness. Well, here we are, full circle.
Exactly. There you go. So basically you do the online gaming where you're actually gaming with other individuals. So do you ever take solo games online like
Not really. I think one of the best parts about games is the community you build around it, right? And I do think also too that's something that I pride my channel onto is the people that I play with. Is
exactly
the community's so strong, and the people I play with, they're all so good. Like if I told you I was one of the best gamers out of my group, I'd be lying to you. Like they're all so amazing, and so
exactly. But you are the generator of the group personality. Would that be a fair estimate?
I do what I can. I do
because
feel like I play a role in the group
great,
for sure.
Yeah. That you're not some big ego. You're an ensemble player with your crew. And that speaks volumes. So
my friends
outside the ego, they would say
my
different.
Friends might say, I think I am very wholesome. No,
I'm just purist-driven snow, and
so he gets it. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. But that's what. And see, there's another one. Oh, there you go. Everybody knows that's a Southern conversation ender, Daniel, and you need to stop using that.
Hey.
There you go.
I'm technically from the South. What can I say?
Well, I'm from Detroit by way of Tennessee, so I get a pass on that. Okay. Yeah. I'm officially dubbed Pole Billy. So.
Oh wow.
As I've said on numerous occasions that I'm the son of a Pollock and a hillbilly, and the fact that my knuckles don't drag the ground when I walk is proof that evolution is a joke.
Goodness. Somebody come get this man.
Somebody, yeah, exactly. That's the sad part is the way things are going, somebody might.
Just might.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I call my show Asylum Tonight. Mm-hmm. All right. And so I always, yeah, exactly. Because, well, I initially started with my frustration to not be able to put out a broadcast quality type show on the internet, that I kept falling flat. And finally that put me into a mental hospital. That was the initial gag, but it has evolved into something much better, I think, because asylum is also something where we're seeking sanctuary.
Right.
And Lord knows the world outside has become an asylum, and we all need asylum from the asylum outside. So that's, yeah, exactly. It's the big sign.
It's too much.
It really is, but it is it's been a long boiling pot.
Right.
And it's been simmering for a long time, and it has gone unattended for a long time. And therein lies our problem, right. is the fact that every chance to address the situation has been glossed over, ignored, in favor of the economy or keeping the status quo, which can no longer go on in such a manner. All right, but again, I went off the deep end when I was trying to keep things light, and ask you of your fellow gamers, on your team.
Oh no. Yeah, let's go.
All right. Who is the one who would most likely end up in an asylum over their frustration in the game?
over their frustration in the game.
Yeah. Who's the first one to just straight up lose their mind? What are you doing? Oh my God. Why are you this way?
He's going to hate me, but it is my boy, Carl. Caveman Carl, also a streamer.
Well, that should have been a dead giveaway right there. Choosing the name Caveman should have tipped you off. Okay. Probably hasn't addressed the emotional and anger issues yet. Okay.
Carl Smash.
There, Carl Smash.
Oh no, great guy, but has his moments. Yeah, he has a rage emote that's specific to him.
Yeah, and he gets ragey on the mic too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's okay. All right. Well, let's see now. Which one of your family, your family would end up in an asylum, just gone nuts.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, and see, that's what happens when you bring it out into the real world. That's when, man.
I have a sister who I love, but she is very passionate.
Well, that's usually the most sane of us are the ones that are usually committed because we see the reality. So there's no shame in that.
I mean, if I need somebody to have my back, it's going to be her. But
well, there you go. Yeah,
she'll fight tooth and nail.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, remember they put Sarah Connor in a mental institution. So there you go. See, conversation ended right there. See how nicely I stopped that? There you go. And there you go. Well, there you go.
There you go.
I'm not quite ready to use it yet, but I'll let you know. What is something that happens to you in gameplay that would put you in the asylum? Might put you in the asylum.
Oh goodness. I don't know. I think one of the things that gets to me the most is when people when people win a game,
yeah,
and then they use that platform to just like tear apart the people that they beat. Like,
all right, well, basically what would send you over the edge is a poor winner.
Yes,
There's
I mean, you gotta have some poison, right? You gotta you gotta be humble in your victory, and it's just that gets me. And and people tell me often, don't tell them good game, but that's one of my things. Good game, every single time. You gotta just we're all here just to have fun, and sometimes people.
Good game. May Satan eat your children.
They say. Yes, yeah. It's a little in there, just Prince's. Yeah.
But that's the point. Is everybody appreciates a gracious loser. We definitely appreciate a gracious winner much better.
Yes,
that's the important thing there. All right. In real life, what is something that would put you into an asylum? What is something that would put you into an asylum?
I mean, and there's a lot of things, and it kind of the same kind of answer ties over into real life, but just like, I don't know, people who just are just no respect for other human beings. And
exactly.
Just, I can't. I don't know. I've done really well, I think, at surrounding myself with good people. Because and I don't of all the things in life that just get you down on a daily basis. Like, you can't also add the people you surround yourself with to that. So it's
exactly.
I just you gotta just kind of. And the worst part is knowing that they're out there, regardless of how you feel.
I feel you on that. I totally understand what you're saying. So. Well, it is a known fact, and I've made no bones about it that about 1 in every 5 people is a complete a-hole. So.
It's crazy. And I guess too, on top of that, if somebody ever to mess with my daughter, I'm watching right now. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Oh no, that's not asylum time. That's straight up jail time. Yeah. That will not be asylum. That will be jail.
I will be on the news.
Oh yeah, exactly, man. Yeah. Now, are you teaching your daughter to be a gracious winner and teaching her to gracious losing, or is she?
I'm doing my best.
Doing your best?
Yeah, it's an experience. Do you have any children?
Look at me. Do you think anybody would trust me with? No, I don't. Okay.
It has been.
I didn't have anybody to trust me long enough for the conception of a child, let alone raising one. Okay.
Goodness. No, it's been something.
You
Yeah,
are
you
all
do
my
want to.
children.
Yeah, yeah, but I don't know. It's hard to kind of walk that line, and you want to teach them, mold them well.
Hmm.
But you kind of curious what sticks sometimes and what doesn't. Life experience will kind of cement some of those things.
Well, yeah, exactly. All you can do is the best you can while they're in your presence, and hope that those lessons carry through to them in life. And most of those lessons will, after the very unpleasant life lesson in which they didn't listen to that advice.
Right.
And it's like us, your parents gave you some advice, you didn't follow it, and then you go, wow, I really should have listened to my parents.
Oh, if I had a nickel, I wouldn't have to stream.
Exactly. I'd already be wealthy from my really bad mistakes. Yeah, that's all good. But the streaming is a side gig right now, and you have a stable job. That's good. A lot of people, and now obviously now is your job having you work from home in the midst of this, or are they ready you back to the office? Yeah.
So I was part of the first wave back to the office. So I have now been in the office for about a week. But there's only a handful of us that are there. But
and you're obviously you're obviously the handful keeping social distancing.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's signs everywhere, hand sanitizer everywhere. We have masks. It's it's very.
Yeah, it's a very interesting time we live in. Yeah,
it really is.
Yes. And
but that it did work from home for a little while, which was nice. But it's easier to be distracted at home.
Exactly. Yeah, that is the big thing to that, because I've been at home for the majority of this. Actually, I was one of the first wave that ended up out of this.
Okay.
And so I work as a personal chauffeur.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So so needless to say, when rich people get scared, they're the first ones that cut everybody off.
Oh,
okay, no, you got to go. Okay, Mr. Driver, you got to go. I got Amazon. I got and the restaurants deliver, and so ever so often I had some clients throw me a bone, so they'd ask me to go pick up their dinner from Spago, and they treat me to a Spago.
Nice.
Do a nice Spago dinner. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Pretty nice. All right. Well, it is time for the official Southern ending of the conversation. There you go.
There you go.
With the one and only Ben Deville. Ben Deville. I really hope that the streaming thing picks up, that you develop a huge following, and make sure to use plenty of hashtags.
Hey.
There you go.
I'll do my best. I'm getting better.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm having to learn, is the hashtags. And
it's a game in itself.
Exactly. The self-promotion is the hardest part of anything. You can be incredibly talented. And my previous guest, a great example of that. Incredibly talented guy. That's the self-promoting is the hardest part of any endeavor. And really, any endeavor it's to make yourself visible to people, aside from lighting yourself on fire. And the same thing goes for the riots, is making yourself visible. Because the only things that we as human beings respond to, that get our attention, food, potential sexual partners, and the threat of violence or a loss of life. Those are the only things that really spark our attention, that will stop our attention on anything, are those three items. Okay.
Lest people forget that we're primal.
lest you forget your primal. Those are the three things, and that's what people are playing on in the midst of these protests. Don't buy in. All right. Okay. But Ben, Boozin, you can check him out on Twitch. Boozin as your handle, and I'm surprised you could get that one so quick and easy.
You'd be shocked. Yeah.
Well, I got Asylum Tonight very easy.
Hey,
I have a web domain. I have might actually use it. It's very easy to find, and just like someone with COVID-19, very easy to find.
True. It's true.
And more finding every day. But that was a really, really lame joke. But then again, we're in the midst of two guys that do nothing but lame jokes. All right.
Hey, wait.
Ben, awesome.
You might say that we've built a career in it.
Fingers crossed. Right?
Hey. Well, hey, thank you so much. You too.
Best of gaming and life to you, brother.
You as well. Thank you.
You're welcome.